All right, let's talk about something we all use every single day, but almost never think about, at least until it breaks. We're going behind the walls and under the floorboards to explore the invisible network that makes a modern home possible. Your plumbing. I mean, have you ever really thought about it? Why does it seem like your buddy who lives just a couple towns over has zero issues, but your street feels like it's in a constant battle with leaky pipes and backed up drains? Well, it turns out the answer is all about location, location, location. And to get to the bottom of it, we're going to zoom in on one specific place, Cibolo, Texas. Trust me, what's happening there is a perfect case study of how the very ground you live on, your local history, and even your water are in a constant fight with your home's plumbing. So every good story needs a villain, right? In this case, we're not talking about people. We're talking about the invisible forces, the hidden challenges that are at work right under the surface in Cibolo. And here are our three main antagonists. First, you've got the soil itself, the stuff called expansive clay. Then there's the water that's actually coming through the pipes. It's super hard water. And finally, you've got the ghost of construction past, aging, outdated infrastructure. Each one of these is a major problem on its own. So, how do these three troublemakers actually team up to cause so much chaos? Let's get into the nitty-gritty, the anatomy of the problem, and see exactly how they do their damage. Okay, first up, the ground. This is a big one. Cibolo is built on what's called expansive clay soil. The best way to think about it is like a giant, powerful sponge under your house. When it gets wet, it swells up and pushes on everything, your foundation, your pipes. Then when it's dry, it shrinks and pulls away. Imagine that happening over and over. That constant stress is just relentless. It's no wonder it eventually cracks the pipes buried underground. All right, antagonist number 2, the water itself. It comes from the Edwards Aquifer, and it is just loaded with minerals. Over time, those minerals build up inside your pipes. It's kind of like plaque building up in an artery, just slowly choking off the flow. And you can see the proof all over town. If you live near places like Schlatter Park or Borgfeld Road, just look at your faucets. That white crusty stuff, that's it. That's the hard water making its mark. And this right here, this shows you it's not just an annoyance. It's expensive. All that mineral gunk settles at the bottom of water heaters, making them work way harder than they should. The result? Water heaters in Cibolo fail way faster than the state average. That's a direct hit right to your bank account. And finally, we've got Father Time himself. You know, in those older neighborhoods, the ones near Dietz Creek, a lot of homes went up before the 1980s. Back then, they used galvanized steel pipes. Look at that picture on the left. That's what happens. They basically rot from the inside out. That's why you get that nasty brown water and terrible water pressure. Today, construction uses materials like PEX or copper for a reason. They just don't have this problem. Wow, so you've got this whole army of problems working against you. So, who you gonna call? This is where the hero of our story steps in, the plumber. And believe me, they've got a whole playbook for this stuff. Yeah, their response isn't just one size fits all. It really falls into 3 big buckets. You've got the crazy middle-of-the-night emergencies, right? The burst pipes. Then you have the smart preventative stuff, routine maintenance to stop those disasters before they start. And finally, you've got the big picture system upgrades, the strategic moves like installing a water softener to solve the problem for good. And, you know, when they show up, it's not just chaos. It's a really methodical, structured process. Step 1 is always diagnosis, figuring out the real root cause, not just what's obvious. Then comes the actual repair, using quality parts. And this last part is so important. They test everything, clean up, and give you the warranty info. It's all about bringing calm and order to what feels like a super stressful situation. Okay, let's be real. For every homeowner, the first question that pops into your head is, how much is this going to cost me? So let's decode that repair bill. And here's the question every single person with an older house asks. Is it cheaper to just repair this one leak, or should I just replace the whole system? It's really the classic battle, short-term savings versus long-term peace of mind. A simple repair costs less right now, and that makes total sense for a one-off problem. But if you've got those old galvanized pipes we talked about, repairing one leak is just playing whack-a-mole. You're just putting a Band-Aid on a sinking ship. A full replacement is a much bigger investment, for sure, but it's the permanent fix. It stops that endless cycle of failures. And then there are the hidden costs, the things that aren't in that initial quote that can really sneak up on you. This is something you absolutely need to know about. You see, a plumber opens up a wall for what seems like a simple fix, and bam, they find mold. Or they realize a slow leak has been rotting out the wood in your walls. Then you've got things like city permits and inspection fees, and sometimes the building code has changed, so you're legally required to upgrade other stuff while you're at it. It's how a small job can turn into a massive project fast. So, what's the price for all that know-how? Well, in the Cibolo area, a licensed plumber is probably going to charge somewhere between 75 and 150 bucks an hour. And remember, you're not just paying for their time, you're paying for their years of training, their insurance, all that crazy expensive equipment, and the expertise to get it done right the first time. Okay, so let's pull back from the nuts and bolts for a second. We've talked about the problems, the playbook, the price tag, but what's the big takeaway here? When you really think about it, the story of your home's plumbing isn't just about pipes and valves. It's a story about geology and history that's literally happening right under your feet. Your house isn't just sitting there. It's in a constant conversation with the land it's built on, the water that flows through it, and the era it came from. So that's the thought I want to leave you with. What about where you live? What are the invisible forces, the unique soil, the local water, the history of your neighborhood that are quietly shaping your home every single day? The answers are out there, and they're probably closer than you think.